looking at a beautiful handmade pen, and I'm quite smitten with it. I already knew I liked it. I've had this for a couple months now. It's just on loan. I actually borrowed it for some photography and some other stuff. And the pen is a Desiderata Pen Company Eucalyptus Burl handmade wood fountain pen with his piston. I say his, with Pierre Miller's screw piston filling system. Why is that interesting? We'll talk about that. But Pierre Miller makes this pen. All of this is made by him. The only thing that has not been made by him, aside from like the material, is this particular nib unit, because I selected this nib unit. But you can also get the flex nib unit where he hand makes the ebonite feed to go with the flex nib. Anyway, beautiful pen. I'm quite taken with it, and I'm just really excited to share it with you. So we're just going to do that. I'm just going to share it. We're going to write with it. And unfortunately, I have to send it back to Pierre, but I don't really want to. So I'll show you why. Le sigh. Beautiful. This pen is a Desiderata Pen Company handmade pen. And it has some beautiful features that I want to show you. And it is unbelievably comfortable to write with. This was made by Pierre Miller. Actually made by. Pierre does not use like CNC or any computer control. He designs and manufactures this pen himself. So let's look at it, because I'm excited to show this to you. And I don't really want to part with it, but you know, it's his pen, so I have to return it. The material, this is Eucalyptus Burl wood in the cap and barrel, and he actually stabilized the wood, resin stabilized the wood in-house, and it's finished with a durable water-resistant curing wax. It is beautiful, super smooth, feels unreal to the touch. The wood itself is absolutely gorgeous. Like, even if you're not someone who likes wood pens, this particular wood is beautiful. It's so warm. It has so much going on. It looks like a really fancy red and black marble ebonite, and it's just absolutely beautiful without the ebonite smell, if that's not something that appeals to you. So he made this stainless steel clip and ball, which I think is super cool. Machined and fabricated in-house. It's really a slim profile, and I love that. I think it looks great on this pen. That's fantastic. But I really like that it's just so, it doesn't add thickness to the pen. It's just so, it's so tiny and cute. So the only marking is Desiderata Pen Company on the barrel, very clean engraving. So if we look at the pen, it is not a tiny pen. This is definitely a full size. It is not super girthy, and I really like that, but it's very comfortable. So if you're thinking, oh, it's probably too slender, I wouldn't even call it slender. I would just say it's nice and normal, and it's really, really comfortable in hand. So the capping is also awesome. Pierre says it has 3 start threads, so you can, let me show you. Okay, so we start here. Wait, did I pass it? There we go. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I did pass it the first time. So it's really quick and easy to cap and uncap. And I have found that it doesn't just uncap itself like in my bag or in a pen case. Now, I don't post these pens, and it's not really meant to post. I mean, look at the size. It's it's really perfect. So, okay, aside from the fact that the pen is beautiful, I think it's gorgeous. This section is, it's like, you know, those things, like those squishy pens that mold to your fingers. Like, it's just perfect. The diameter is perfect. It's smooth. This flare is just fantastic. I cannot talk, like, I can't explain. Like, it's not an unusual section design, but he's done it so well that it feels so good. And the threads are smooth. Like, all of this is so smooth. There's no sharp steps. There's no ridges. It's just so good. And like, if you look at this in my hand, it just sits perfectly. And I have it inked right now. There's the balance, like right in the middle of the barrel. And it feels so good. Now, the filling system, he actually has also made this filling system, which is fascinating. So I have it inked, but it is it's a piston, right? So it's not a converter that's attached. He actually built this piston system. So what you do is you just, turn it and depress this. And I love that it's all in the barrel. I love that there's no turning knob, so I actually feel more comfortable with this in terms of cleaning and just the durability of it. And actually, he selects his materials for strength, durability, weight reduction, and reduced environmental impact. So yeah, fascinating system. I think it just looks really cool. Quite a decent ink capacity. And I really appreciate the logic behind the materials he has selected. So he has worked with cellulose acetate for the reservoir, delrin, and ebonite. So these are fabulous. These are all fabulous little parts. I'm just looking at the details here. It's so clean, like the threading is so clean. There's no like unpolished bits. I'm just so happy with it. And when you close this, like when you close up the barrel, it's just so tidy. It's just perfect. Perfect. So comfortable. So beautiful. So I have the standard Jovo number 6 section in here, nib unit in here. But if you want, you can also purchase the Zebra G flex nib unit. So all you would have to do is unscrew this one and put the Zebra G in, which gives you a very versatile pen. And like, for example, if you're using your Zebra G dip nib and you don't want to empty the reservoir, like if you don't want to run it dry, you can just unscrew that unit and put this one in and finish up writing with this nib. So it's a very versatile pen, and I really like that. So, I mean, Pierre is known for his modern style, vintage style modern flex pens. And so that is one of the highlights. Let me just show you. I have an Icarus from many years ago. So what you would do is just use the dip nib as the flex writer. And in this case, I actually had this to write an article for Pen World, so that is why it has this nib unit on it, but he does make them with the flex nib. So anyway, absolutely beautiful. I think it's stunning. It feels really good in hand. It's like warm and so smooth. Like the finishing is so fantastic. I'm so happy with this, and I don't want to send it back, but I'm going to have to. Now, I think I want to do some writing just to show you how the pen sits in my hand as I'm writing, and just for fun, right? Because, like, it's a pen video. Why not do that? And let's go do that, and we can take a look at the parts as we're writing. We can see how everything comes together. honestly think aside from the writing experience, which is standard for a well-tuned, well-adjusted Jovo nib, I cannot get over how comfortable this pen is. This is probably one of the comfiest pens I've ever held and written with. And I've used a lot of pens. It's just, it feels so good in hand. It is so comfortable. It's not heavy. It's just the right shape. And honestly, this section, I don't understand what it is about it. It is killer. The interesting thing is I usually struggle with holding pens for a longer time because I'm having these issues with my elbow and the nerves and the wrist and stuff. So I'm usually quite shaky, and I find it so easy to write with this pen. Now remember, I'm not paid for this. This pen is going back. It's not even my pen, and I'm crazy about it. I'm starting to think I'm going to have to order one for myself. Anyway, I'm just writing nonsense because I don't want to stop writing. This is like this with this nib setup, and if you also get the Zebra G Flex nib setup, you're good to go. I mean, there are so many Jovo nib options, and if you combine that with the fact that you can just swap in the Zebra G because the nib units are interchangeable, I mean, what more do you need? I mean, that's like the argument for, do you really need more than one pen? Says the person who has many pens. But I love this. It's fantastic. It's so comfortable. I'm quite smitten, I have to say. And of course, I like loud, sparkly colors and all that. But like the quiet elegance and class of this particular pen, oh, it just has me captivated. The last thing I want to mention, which to me is very important, because if you have seen my other videos in the past, or if you've read my posts about fountain pens, you know I'm not someone who likes fountain pen packaging, or any packaging, not just for pens. And what I really, really appreciate about Desiderata Pen Company and Pierre, one of Pierre's goals is to reduce and minimize waste. So he doesn't want to waste paper, time, materials. He wants to give you the best experience with the pen and not have to, send you a box that you don't want. And to be honest, I don't want a box either. So I would much rather have a pen company put the time and the resources into perfecting the pen and the writing experience instead of, putting some of that money into creating a box that I honestly don't want. So I think for me, the ethos and the mission behind minimizing waste that Pierre Miller has been striving for is something that I really appreciate, and it's something that I'm happy to support. So, for those of you wondering, Gourmet pens, what is your next pen? I am thinking it's going to have to be one of these. So I think I'm going to have to talk to Pierre.